Welcome back. Joining me this morning is career coach Joe Shinkuski. Thanks so much for joining us. So we're going to talk a little bit about ghosting in the job market and how that is rising. So can you explain what that is?
Sure, yeah. Ghosting is when communication just kind of disappears into thin air. It can happen on both sides of the coin in terms of candidates being ghosted by employers if they're interested in a job, but also we're seeing a big uprising in candidates actually ghosting companies. I think 80% of candidates said they ghosted a company in 2023. So kind of like that pushback, there's a whole lot of frustration in the job market right now, and ghosting is one of those things that comes with it.
I feel like that's something that you see in the dating world, but not really in a job market. The fact that that's kind of transferred over into companies doing that, that's kind of unfortunate. So what are, some ways that an employer can ghost a candidate? Is it really just not responding? Is that the main way?
Yeah, for the most part. So let's say a candidate gets into an interview process. They've had 2 or 3 interviews. They're starting to really like the team that they potentially could be joining. And then that company just goes crickets. They don't respond to a question that the candidate has. Hey, I'm checking in on my application or the interview process. And they're kind of left out there hanging in the wind. It can happen for a variety of reasons. It can happen because a company is undergoing some internal change or maybe some budget issues that they need to work through. But for whatever reason it happens, it can leave people feeling really frustrated about their prospects of joining that company.
And then also, aside from employers ghosting a candidate, I'm sure candidates ghost employers too. What does that kind of look like?
Yeah, it kind of depends on if the candidate is trying to do it out of spite or maybe they've had an internal kind of change with their life too, or family change or job change. But yeah, I've talked to a lot of people who are intentionally ghosting companies, and that's not a good idea either. But it happens because they want to kind of stick it to the man a little bit, and they'll have an interview request and just not show up. A lot of the interviews are virtual instead of face-to-face like this. So that's kind of one way that they're responding to the frustration they're feeling in the job market right now.
Right, and I could imagine that there's impacts that ghosting can have on employers and candidates. I know for a candidate, it may be, some self-confidence, some self-esteem, like why did they ghost me? What did I do wrong? What are some of those impacts that people can see?
Yeah, I think it can wreak havoc on your confidence. It can make you feel like you're not enough for a particular job and really kind of make you feel that maybe you are missing something that they're not telling you about for whatever reason. And companies can be hurt after ghosting because it can damage their reputation. It's so easy right now for candidates and employees to leave reviews of companies online. So if you do that too many times, it really starts to damage your reputation.
And so then what are some tips for those people who are applying for jobs and they don't want to be ghosted? Obviously, no one wants to be ghosted, but are there any tips to help alleviate being potentially ghosted?
Yeah, I think the worst thing you can do if you are feeling like you're being ghosted is wait. You are more than one job, more than one opportunity. So be applying for different roles. You could be getting good interview experience through that, that kind of round of interviews. You could be networking, hint, hint, at local networking events that we're going to talk about. But there's ways to stay active and, add some breadth to your job experience, do some volunteering, take a technology course, anything you can do to kind of stay active.
Yeah, and so let's also talk about that networking event, that happy hour. What is that all about?
Yeah, so we started the Work Happy Hour as a way to just let professionals come and kind of unwind. It's a very comfortable networking environment, free food, free beer, free music. Just it really was a kind of a good mix of senior professionals who come out to this. We started it last month, had a lot of college kids come out, so there's kind of a good mix of people. We talked to a local expert who really enjoys what they're doing, so that's one of the ways we found that people can be motivated to kind of enjoy their work again is to hear it from other people who are actually crushing it. So we do a talk like that, and then the rest of it's just open networking, and it's a good, nice, comfortable experience for people.
That's awesome, and you don't have to be out of a job to go to that.
Correct,
you can go there and you can have a job.
You can be completely happy at work and just come there and hang out and kind of share that with people, share your experience. The next one is Wednesday the 27th at Celebrations in Marion. Let's hope a lot of people come out. We had a really good crowd the first time, and it's going to be a good time.
And so what time does that take place?
It's from 5 to 7 next Wednesday. These are going to be the last Wednesday of every month. It's just kind of that midweek, get over the hump kind of thing. and come enjoy some time.
I like that. I feel like that would be a really good time, and you never know who you would meet. Maybe you could find the next job of your dream there. Who really knows? And how can people find out more information about that?
Yep, so there's a Facebook event called the Work Happy Happy Hour.
Okay.
You can check out Ethos at the Citadel. That's the Marion Small Business Incubator. That's where I have co-working space. They co-sponsor it with my company, so you can go there and find that as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us and talking a little bit about this. And hey, if you're applying for a job and you happen to get ghosted, definitely don't let that bring you down. Just keep applying. I feel like that's probably the best advice. All right, we'll be back in just a bit.